Well, here it is, Saturday morning, and a very young man came to my house he was born in 1982, and my youngest child was born in 1980. Well, everybody's a child when they're younger than me, born in 1944, right? But he made me cry, and men do that, They seem to make women cry. Why, I have no idea, but I'm not the kind of woman that men should make cry, because I'm a good woman, I don't lie or cheat or sleaze around. I'm a true blue woman, through and through. I'm not high maintenance. I'm very economical. But you see, my predicament here is I cannot find a qualified carpenter in Canada. There's nobody who knows how to do carpentry work like my daddy. I used to help my daddy when I was a little girl. I loved helping my daddy build things and help him. And we'd go to the store and buy paint. And oh yeah, of course, I'd have to drag those two little brothers of mine because my mother was locked in the bedroom as usual, sick, she said. My dad said, she's sick. She's the only one in the family that gets sick like that. And he said Aunt Rosemary is the only normal one in the family. But Aunt Rosemary was not the same clan. She was somebody else's baby. One of those adopted babies. But guess what? Uncle Norm married her. And she became Mrs. Norman Skene, Skene. Oh, she was so proud to be married. She loved to be married and have her husband's name because she didn't have a name of her own. She was adopted. She didn't know who her mommy. See, it's cold here. The steam is coming out of my mouth like a horse. In the cold, the steam, see, that's below zero now. It's quite cold in Canada. But getting back to Aunt Rosemary now, I loved Aunt Rosemary. She was my favorite aunt, And I phoned her when I was abducted in Toronto. She was the only one I could call. And she said, Heather, where are you? And I was silent and quiet, and I couldn't tell her where I was because I was so ashamed. I blamed myself for what happened, you see, because I knew they would flog me. I knew those Skenes would beat me up and tell me it's all my fault. But it wasn't my fault. It's not always a young girl's fault. It is not always her fault. And that's what I would like to say. It's not always the young girl's fault. Okay? Nobody wants to be abducted. Nobody. I had no reason to be abducted at all. So the Toronto City Police Department told me It's never too late to report a crime, because I am important. God knows. Heather Bonita Hopkins Topic, because I did marry a Serb, but it was a Serb that abducted me too. But that's okay, I forgive you, George Popovich, because you gave me a gift. You gave me the most beautiful baby girl, which I had no idea I would have, because I had no idea and no plans. In fact, I didn't even know about the birds and the bees, because Ontario did not teach sex education in school. So I didn't know. I didn't know how babies were born. I didn't know a thing. I'm sorry I was so stupid and ignorant, Skeen Clan, because Aunt Rosemary knows. She knows that can happen. She knew all along that could happen. And when she asked me, "Where are you, Heather?" I was embarrassed to tell her, because I thought she was on their side, not mine, because my mother, she had a missing persons report out for me. And I disappeared, and I started sleeping in the church. Nobody was there. It was quiet. And I went there, and with them, I didn't know I had a baby in my stomach. But I don't think I did, but I did. But what happened, a miracle. It was a miracle that the two of us survived. Two of us. I'm the mother, right? I became a mother. I was 17, but I wasn't sure what happened. But it happened miraculously. I found out 3 months later that I was going to have a baby girl. No, I didn't know for 9 months if it was going to be a baby girl or a baby boy. It was old-fashioned. But she was the most beautiful baby at the doctor's hospital, you know, and all the other daddies, the Italian daddies, the Portuguese daddies, that was in the Cabbagetown area doctor's hospital at College in Spadina. It's not there anymore. But that's where my little baby girl was born, and everybody came. And Aunt Rosemary said to my mother, "Oh, that's too bad." They talk like sheep, those sisters. They talk like sheep. And she said, "That's too bad." And I wondered what she meant. It was a beautiful baby girl. Why was it too bad, I thought? Because everybody else said the baby was beautiful. All the men, they came to see their wife, and they brought her a dozen roses, and they loved their little babies, but they took the time to come and see me in my room and tell me that my baby was the most beautiful baby in the whole nursery at the doctor's hospital on July 22nd, 1962. A long time ago. But I remember everything. Of course I would, wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I remember that day? The day I became a mother. Why? Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I remember that day? Every woman remembers that day. I wasn't on anesthetic or whatever you call that stuff, hypnosis or drugs. I was clean, young woman when I had my first child. Don't forget it, Heather, Bonita. Do not forget that day ever. And I will not. Till my dying day will I forget the day I became a mother, okay? And this is no, what do you call that, photography? What do you call the movie star? I'm not a movie star. No, I'm not. I'm not getting paid $1 million. This is me. This is the truth. This is me, right from the heart to you. Have a wonderful day. And if anybody lets you down today, never mind. Never mind. Don't get depressed, because there's only one entity in life that never lets you down. You know who that is? It's up in the sky. It's some magic. It's called God. Let's pretend. Pretend there's a God, okay? Just pretend that there's some spiritual space age UFO or something. Believe something. You gotta believe something in life, right? You gotta believe something. You gotta believe something. But if it's something to destroy you, don't trust it. It's a killer, right? We all know it's not your cell phone that kills, that saves your life. It's something else, and you know what it is. Anything that's mood altering. You think you need it for the pain. You don't. I know I do. I should talk, right? Because I did start smoking when I was quite young. But that's because I had a friend in high school that had a bad experience, and she smoked, and so I had a bad experience too, and I learned from her. I'm a copycatter with the things, you see, and then we think they help us, but they kind of hurt us, and I can't stop it. See, I did spend money and get a new lower denture. I'm very embarrassed about this gap in my lower teeth, and I phoned the denturist, and I've already given them $2,000, but they want another $2,000 because I dropped the denture accidentally yesterday when I was getting out of bed and broke it in half, and I can't find the other half. So this is my old one, and I'll just take it back to Dr. McNary. She's from the Philippines. She's a woman of God. That woman is a woman of God. And you know, there are people that are blessed. There are saints. You know, they are saints. Hi, Chris. Good morning, Chris. That's a talking doorbell. You see, you push it, and it says, good morning. See, it's called from California. See, it's called Ring. And you push, nobody can see it. Nobody knows anything about it. So they walk right by it and knock on my door. And they knock, low knocking. They can't see this big thing here. Then the mail lady delivers the mail there. And there's a little Christmas tree we can put lights on. I have a beautiful little home. And I paid cash for it. But that young carpenter, he took off. He can't call himself a carpenter. He said, I'm not a carpenter. He's a drywaller. Oh, okay. It was Charlena that called him a carpenter. I guess the kitties are... I fed 2 cats down the road here on number 52. They had a house fire, you see. And and they took off without their 2 cats. They couldn't catch them. It was a fire on the 11th of November. My heart is beating fast because he just stopped by for a few minutes. You see, he wants to be in charge of his life, that young man. And his wife was adopted. And her adoptive parents live in Abbotsford. So they're going out there today to visit her. But I was not told. I figured I had him here for a couple of hours. But I know there's people out there that will do what I want them to do in my house. I just need to find a carpenter, you know. If I were a carpenter, that old song, maybe I should play that song because today is another day. And look, all the flooding we've had in British Columbia, it's a beautiful day regardless of memories of when you became a mother or memories of... me, myself, and I, because I'm lonely. Nobody talks to Heather Bonita. Everybody keeps to themselves these days. Everybody's in a rush, but we did have an emergency. That is very true. I don't listen to false news either. Or what do you call it? People that want to make money but don't do the job. They want the money but not the work. That kind of person. I've got a little Toyota here that... Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Are you lost? Oh, aren't you a sweetheart? Hi. Oh, are you the granddaughter? Hi there. Hello, little hi. Are you the granddaughter?
Yes, I am.
I can't see very well.
Oh, that's okay.
Hi, how are you doing?
Jasper.
Do you live here now, or are you the grandmother?
No. My mom passed away about 5 years ago.
Oh, you're the daughter of, I know your dad. He was the fireman.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, and you're the daughter?
I'm the daughter.
Oh, how do you do? You look just like Bob.
I do, yes.
In fact, I thought you were Bob, but I'm I said, hey, did he come back to life, Because he was Métis. He was part French and part Indigenous.
Oh, yeah.
You look exactly like him.
I do.
I'm exactly like my father, too. So meet Hilbert George Hopkins, and you're Robert.
My name is... Oh, yes, I do.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just pretending.
Yeah.
I'm the same age now
Yeah.
as your dad was when I met him.
Oh, is that right?
Because I lived there.
Oh, Jean?
I'm Heather Hopkins.
Oh, you're Heather.
Heather Bonita.
Oh, okay.
And you're the big daughter. Are you the number...
I'm the oldest.
Yeah, I'm the oldest too. So, and we were doing genealogy.
Yeah.
And I really liked him, just getting to know him.
Yeah.
And damn it, what happens?
I
You see,
know.
people get zapped out of your life for a reason, eh?
That's right. Yeah.
And I was just talking to myself on my video.
Oh, yeah.
I was doing a recording of Heather Bonita the day I became a mother.
Oh, yeah.
You see, I was 17, just turned 18.
Yeah.
It's for my oldest daughter.
Oh, there you go. That's
She'll be 60
Oh, wow.
on July 22nd, 2022.
Yeah.
You see, because she was born in Toronto back then, right?
Yeah.
I became a mother at a very early age. because I was abducted.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what that feels like?
No, can't see that.
You look at my YouTube video.
Oh, okay.
Do you use Bob's email address?
No, I don't.
Does anybody in your family?
No.
Okay, then I would have to get a new email address to send you the URL so you can look at this video.
Oh, okay.
I'm a little bit funny,
That's okay.
but nobody diagnosed me yet. I don't have the only diagnosis I have is post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah.
Anybody can get that, right?
Yeah, for traumatic.
But I love little doggies. I have a cat, and there was a fire down there.
Yeah.
I was out in Langley at my daughter's villa,
Yeah.
and holy cow, I went down yesterday morning with some food.
Yeah.
It's a mother, a father, and a 3-year-old baby, boy, little one, and a 7-year-old, and they have 2 cats. What's your name? What kind of? That's a fox terrier, right?
He's a Pomchi.
What?
He's a Pomchi, which means he's
A Pomeranian, right? Oh, he's from China, is it?
No, actually, his dad is a purebred Pomeranian.
Yes.
And his wife's mom has a purebred Chihuahua.
Wow.
That's what he is. He's pure half and half.
Oh, sweetheart.
Yeah.
There are animals. Without animals, where would we be?
I know.
We would have nobody,
Right. We love
I have one cat left, but I had a whole slew of them at my old place.
Yeah.
I lived 20 years at 8190.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, it was like California, Beautiful, red, what do you call those red cedar trees?
Yeah.
I had never seen them that up close up before, I'm
Right.
from Ontario,
Oh, yeah.
but I've lived here since 1969. I got my driver's license here. I was 24 or 25. You're probably from Alberta.
No, I was born in Saskatchewan.
But you grew up in Richmond.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I owned an acre of land there.
Yeah.
And I used to milk the goat, but I'm older than you, right?
A little bit.
Yeah. Margaret Anderson. She taught me how to milk a goat. I worked for the federal government.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so I had to learn how to milk a goat.
Yeah.
I can tell you a few stories about Richmond. You like Richmond, right?
Yeah, I had a good
That's your hometown.
Yeah.
And my son, he was born in 1973 in Richmond
Yeah.
on Lulu Island.
Yeah.
He was born on Lulu Island.
Yeah. Back then,
And
that's what
nobody knows about Lulu Island.
No, people don't know that.
We who live there, we know about Lulu
Yeah,
Island.
that's right.
And we know about mass eviction.
Yeah.
Maybe you're too young to remember, but
I know my history.
you know history. Yeah, that's what I love. I love history. Do you know what happened? Mass eviction. Do you remember that? The airport, they were building the new airport. And all these people that lived on the Crown land,
Oh, yeah.
they were mass evicted.
Yeah.
So when I was mass evicted at 8190, that's what reminded me.
Yeah.
And now history is very important, isn't it?
It is very important.
And that's why I love genealogy.
Yeah.
And that's my oldest daughter and her friends, my younger kids. I had 6. She gets them all together and tells them your mother lives too much in the past. You know what that means, right? They think you got Alzheimer's or...
Right?
But hey, a long-term memory is very important.
That's right.
I just had my 77th birthday, see? And Bob would be 80 on his next birthday. And I would be, in May, Mother's Day, I'll be 78, see? But his big sister or somebody, they did genealogy. I need to find her because I gave my daughter up for adoption too. And she is a sister that was given up for adoption. And she didn't feel a part of your family. because, did he tell you about this? I hope I'm not crashing any. Sometimes families keep secrets from one another. But I was very interested in meeting her because she's probably the same age as me. And you know, I had 2 little brothers and no sisters. And I would love to have a sister. I don't give a hoot if my parents got married or not. I would just love to have a sister, right? Wouldn't you?
I have a sister.
But you don't have a brother.
No brother.
Yeah, wouldn't you give anything to have a brother?
Sometimes.
Maybe your father was in the army or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Get an Ancestry DNA kit. They're on sale now for Christmas. $79. And you can find out. You might meet a brother. You might get a brother out of that deal. Keep your fingers crossed. $79. Ancestry.ca. I'm sure you go on the internet. You do, right? Yeah, everybody does. They're not going to steal your money. No, you won't be able to pay cash for your house. So when are the new people coming in?
I don't know yet. We have to wait till probate's finished.
Oh, I see, yeah. It's always funny when there's an estate. It's slower, right? Yeah. So number 52, they're burned out. The house is condemned. Now what?
Yeah, I know, right? It's very sad. Yeah.
But what happens? The park bridge, they're getting after them. They got to get that burned down, boarded up.
I know there seems to be like no compassion.
There's no compassion, absolutely.
It's all about money.
It's all about money, you're right. Now I see it. It's black and white because we didn't have that over there. Yeah, they have it here though. It's the biggest company in Canada, land developing company. Parkbridge.com. From the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean, all along the 49th parallel.
It's all about money.
It's all about the money, money. But hey, I'm going to Belize. Do you want to join me? That's a good country. Stephen Harper's going with his wife. They just bought property there. Cheap. Not expensive like here. You can buy a house for $3,000. Mahogany cabinets. I think I'm going to sell and move to Belize. I'll die there. Nice meeting you. If you want, send me your email. Keep in touch. HopkinsHB@gmail.com. Hopkins. If you can't remember that, Heather H@shaw.ca. But Bob, we used to exchange email. Well, so much for that. That's me and my neighbor. Well, I didn't know I had a neighbor. But it's an unusual day because my fingers are ice cold. I guess the winter has set in. Winter has set in and I'm stuck with a mess here. And that's how cold it is. You see that, folks? It's very cold. It feels like my fingers are getting blue and purple. It's cold. Whew. There's the Canadian flag, so you know I'm in Canada. And it looks like I'm a hippie, but I'm not. I'm a 77. Well, you know, see what it says there? It says, please don't let the cat out, no matter what it tells you. That's a joke. And that's Muriella. That's her paw print. And that's Sir Willifer's paw print. You see, I honor my babies. There's more paw prints and ashes too, by the way. You know, I kind of like furry friends. But that old young carpenter, he's like wham bam, thank you ma'am sort of deal. He wasn't even here an hour. And I was waiting. Charlena, my daughter, said he would be coming here, but he just came and left and didn't listen to one thing I said. And he did a little bit here, a bit of grinding, and I don't know what he did, but the door is certainly not installed. And he put something on the track. I guess it's good enough, but he did nothing. That's all he did. He couldn't handle being in the same room as me, I guess. But whatever. So people let you down, but hey, don't ever let yourself down, because you are number one, right? No one else. Number one, you. Me, myself, and I. I'm 3 in 1. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Take it all you want, but you can take it also. Me, I'm the big sister. Dale David is the little brother, and Daniel Adair, he's the baby of the family. We used to tease him, Dale and I. But I missed being the Three Musketeer, because Heather, Dale, and Danny were the Three Musketeers, you know. And we were survivor kids in Toronto, Ontario. And we were hungry and poor, and Daddy used to get rolled at the Dominion Hotel in Toronto. He worked all week, and they'd rob him when the bar closed. Then the Toronto City Police would beat the shit out of him too, and throw him in the Dawn jail. So my daddy got severely punished for what he did. But he died young, you see. And I miss my family, of course. Who doesn't miss their family? They were my blood family. I was not adopted like my daughters. You know, I had no choice but to give two sweetest darling babies away to an adoption agency, because I didn't know where they were going to take my children. I had no clue. But their father, he didn't want them. And so I had no money, because my low-paying office job at $1 an hour didn't pay me enough to support 3 human beings, me, myself, and I. And so away they went. There was not fun. Okay? There was not fun. Okay? But they reassured me that everything would be okay. Okay? For the fucking 10th time, okay? Okay? Is that okay with you? People who judge, you know? You know, the law of the land. That's what it was, the law of the land. And the land was Canada. And the culture was Canada. And we were Canada. Canada, oh Canada, my home and native land. But in those days, we did not sing Oh Canada. We sang God Save Our Gracious King. Oh, grade 2. Oh, grade 3, we had to learn God Save Our Gracious King. Queen. I kept saying king. It was the Queen. But I knew about the Queen. because she came on my the black and white television set that my daddy bought and brought home from the People's Credit Jewelers. He bought a TV on credit for his family. His 3 little kids, his 3 little musketeers. And that TV, he put it on the grass at the front of the house or something like that, because all the children in the street could see the Queen coronation all the way from London, England, or wherever it was filmed. But you can find that same, I think it was black and white, but maybe the rich people, maybe it was filmed in Technicolor. I don't know if there was such a thing, but if you do Google search, or if you look at 1952 or 3, for the Queen Elizabeth of England, her, you know, the coronation. I look like the Queen. No, I do not look like the royal family. But I'm a white woman, but and I'm a Scottish. She's I think she's English, German or something. But you do your DNA and you'll find out who you are, and then you'll feel stronger, because then you can adopt the culture of who you are. Well, I did one DNA test, and you feel better when you know who you are. You know, you belong somewhere. Just take the one with the most DNA. You know, yeah, I know we're 50-50, but if you're a little bit more like 70, then you know very well that's your culture, eh? Then you have to adopt their habits and their beliefs and their church and their family religion, you know, the culture thing. Yeah, it's all about that. You know that. It's not only about money nowadays, like the neighbor said. But holy man, I thought it was her father. She looks identical to her father. That's me. I look identical to my father. Girls do, you know. Sometimes they look exactly like their fathers. And she's short like him, tiny little French woman. And she loves history. So she went to university and she majored in history. She's about, I think she's probably my daughter Tanya's age. But she looks older. I guess she had a hard life. Or maybe her parents' DNA wasn't as good as my daughter's DNA. Of course, we're strong Scottish people. It's all about the DNA, right? And health issues and so on. And we didn't have any very heavy-duty health issues in my clans. My Scottish clans, but ancestry.ca. If you're in Canada, .com. If you're in the USA, and they have another one in England, UK, and another one in Australia, AU, just like the money. And then there's another one, I believe, in New Zealand website. See, they create little websites all over the world. That means they opened a business for that country and they have to pay that country business taxes. That's all that means. Of course, you knew that, right? I'm not the smartest woman in the world, but I'm not the stupidest either. And with that, I'm going to close because I need to call the denturist back, because she promised to call me back, but she did not. And I was climbing out of my big tall bed here. You see, that's a pretty big drop. But this fell out of I had it in this pocket here. And because I don't like sleeping with these things in. And when I jumped down, it fell on the floor, but I can't find it's cracked in half. It didn't fall very far, but look, it's cracked right exactly in half. And they said if you find the other half, we might be able to repair it. But this cost me $2,000 plus taxes plus $232 for them to fix it and make it fit properly, and it never did ever fit properly. So I'm wearing the old one that I used to have a tooth here, and of course you wouldn't see a gap, but the old one fits much better than this one ever did. And so I am not going to go anymore to that denturist, Mr. Sarwari in Surrey, because he refused to redo the lower denture that I paid him for. He received $4,200 for an upper and lower partial denture and lower denture. And the lower denture was never manufactured correctly, and he refused to give me a new one. Pardon me. And now this accident has occurred as of yesterday morning, and I cannot find the other half of this. So you see, here I am talking 42 minutes, and I've covered a lot of ground, a lot of territory of problems, including my runny nose that I have in the course of a day. And my days usually end about 3 p.m. because everything closes back east. Everything is in the east, you see. I'm in the west. I'm in the west where all the tall trees are. Not California, but Canada. I'm in cold, freezing cold Canada, in the YVR area. YVR means Vancouver, Canada. And so that's where Heather Hopkins Topich is, or Heather Bonita. It's easier for remembering. Heather Bonita. Oh, yeah, Heather Bonita. Oh, yeah, Heather Bonita. Oh, yeah, Heather Bonita. She lives in Vancouver, BC. Now I do, but this is not my home. My country, where I came from, is Ontario, Canada. And before that, it was Scotland. Scotland. Know where that is? That's across the water. The water is the Atlantic Ocean, okay? And then you have to hitchhike north when you get to London. If you're a vagabond, that is, and you don't take public transit. Or a backpacker. Or a groupie. Like a woman I met in Vancouver. Forget her. We don't listen to her anymore. Because some people are, either you click or you don't click. But there is such a thing as a click. And that word is French, I know, but cliché is French too. But don't want to go there right now. I want to get a black eye. like I did once upon a time. I got a black eye, but it wasn't something I did to myself. Nobody does anything to me and gets away with it, let's say. But I'm not the Queen of England. And I don't have much power because I'm poor. But I have a voice. Everybody has a voice. Not everybody. Some people can't talk. And I can barely talk today because I'm a laryngitis. I think I've got a cold or laryngitis because I screamed or cried, or maybe I screamed at the ocean or something. I pounded some drums, or I was angry about something. And yeah, I was angry because I work hard for my money. And if somebody comes along and takes it away from me, then I get pretty upset, and I scream at the top of my lungs sometimes. Or I talk too much. That's called PTSD. But I need to get a drink of water. I don't drink whiskey anymore. But I liked that Scotch whiskey until I found out that a lot of babies were born because the mummies used the thalidomide, and my babies were not a victim of thalidomide or whatever. The thalidomide, they make it from whiskey. And the babies were born without arms or legs, and they're practically all dead now. Those babies were victims. They were innocent victims, and so were their mummies. And so were their mothers. Get it? Because, they thought and they trusted their doctor. So now you know why a doctor has so much education, because it's a big responsibility. But it's also a big responsibility. Who's at fault? Who do you blame? Who do you point the finger at? Who owes who the big bucks? Who gets the big bucks? I don't know. You might have to Google that one if you want the answer. Eh? This tasted, you know what it tasted like? Bleach. This water. But you think everybody that lives in the city has good water, right? Oh, it does not taste like a mountain brook. We used to have a mountain brook right in the middle of Toronto. Did you know that? There's no mountains in Toronto. How is that possible? It came out of the earth, out of the ground you stand on, and it was in a park called Sherwood Forest. Did you know there's 2 Sherwood Forests? One in England, where Robin Hood went around with his merry men. They were merry, killing dogs, not dogs, the fox. They went hunting for fox. I need my teeth cleaned. They used to be white. But anyway, I better go and have a bath, a nice cold bath. That'll smarten me up. That'll make me pack up my troubles in my old kit bag and smile, smile, smile. Right? I better go. I talk too much. Shh. baby sleeping. Mommy needs to sleep. Grandma, she just dozed off in her rocking chair. My grandma didn't live that long. Short lifespan. Me too. Be good, be safe. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. I'm double vaxxed. Double vaxxed. Twins. Twin vax. Twins. They're identical twins. My vax are identical twins. Twinnies. Twinnies. Ciao. Hey, 50 minutes. Gets better all the time, doesn't it? No, that's peace. Peace. Not this. What does that mean? Oh, hand signals. Hey, sweetheart, teach me how to talk. You know, I used to talk to my my deaf friend. The blind friend, she talks freely, no problem. But I have a friend that is deaf, and she uses signals with her fingers, you see. And that means old, and that is love. That's American Sign Language, you see. It's fun to learn a language that you could talk with your fingers. Deaf. They read lips. So if the lower denture is digging into the gum, we cannot verbalize and speak ASL, American Sign Language. Ciao. It won't stop.